Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, senior economist, and here were the headlines while we were away. First, we had a 10-year auction, which I can best describe as meh. It underperformed expectations. Going into it, the market looked favorable because there were low yields with no pre-auction spikes, but demand from investors was weaker than hoped. As a result, the government had to accept a slightly higher yield to sell the bonds, and the bid-to-cover ratio hit a recent low. In bond terms, this could be a signal of caution, perhaps due to economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, competing investment options like corporate bonds, influx into the market, potentially putting pressure on longer-term interest rates. It's not a total disaster, but it's not a result that one would have hoped. Tomorrow we have a 20-year auction. We'll see how that goes. Duration has been a bit of a problem for the government, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Next, we have Bostic has decided to announce his retirement when his term concludes at the end of February. This opens up a new slot on the FOMC in Atlanta. So this will be very interesting because this is kind of another person the White House hopes to push somebody that would be more dovish, obviously, into that position. So we'll see how that happens. That said, the Atlanta Fed's president, even a new one, wouldn't vote until 2027. So in the near term, it wouldn't be that impactful, but over the longer term, it would be. And then we had Levitt gave a press conference and said October CPI and jobs data likely never to be released. Now, this is different than what we had expected. She said that the October jobs and CPI reports are unlikely to be released due to the government shutdown. The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports never being released, she told reporters. The BLS has not yet released an updated schedule, so there is some speculation. They may attempt to put October and November together, but we'll have to see. Again, they did not respond for comment when asked about this. Then, of course, we had Hassett said he would accept says he would accept the Fed chair job, and he wants lower rates. He said if he was nominated to replace Jerome Powell as Fed chair, he would take it, adding he would prefer a larger interest rate cut when policymakers meet in December. So Hassett still vying for that job. We did see oil tank today. This was on, I tried to put it in chat, but this was on the OPEC monthly report that came out. Now, how the media put it isn't exactly how OPEC put it, but of course, media being the media, put out the headline that OPEC flips third quarter oil market view to surplus on U.S. growth. OPEC has flipped estimates for global oil markets in the third quarter from a deficit to a surplus, with U.S. production exceeding expectations. This is not exactly what they said. They said that U.S. had exceeded expectations, but that didn't flip necessarily the whole market into a surplus, but that is why oil is continuing to tank today. And last but not least, some good news for you coffee drinkers. Coffee drops as Trump and Bessent signal possible tariff cuts. So Arabica coffee poised its biggest intraday drop in nearly 2 months. Trump was on the wires, or speaking to a press poll actually, saying we're going to lower some tariffs, and we're going to have, when asked about coffee prices, he said we're going to have some coffee come in. Bessent sort of reiterated this later in his comments, saying that there could be substantial announcements over the next couple of days on crops not grown in the U.S., including coffee. So we'll see, and that would be obviously from Brazil. And StoneX actually said the fundamental picture of coffee seems to be improving as well. And so that also helped put the kibosh on prices a little bit. So good news for coffee drinkers. We are seeing a little bit of relief. And with that, I will hand it to Jim for an Edge report.
Thank you, Shai. That's great news on the coffee. And I think we should start a petition. We could nominate Tracy for the FOMC position. I think that's a great idea. And she could cut her interest rate. So let's go for that, everybody. Thumbs up if you think that's a good idea. Also, rumor has it the U.S. Mint is going to end the penny. I don't have any confirmation on that, Kevin. As tragic as that is, it's a very strong possibility. Let's get into the charts. Let's start with gold right now. Here's a daily gold candle right now. I had this purple or plum colored area of resistance. It didn't last long. It didn't last long. We kind of had a U-shaped recovery, man. We had a blast off today, and I just drew a fib line. I just measured the highs down to the lows. I just wanted to measure that move, and I threw the fib on, and it's all this is a measurement. And I wanted to see where we're at. We're right at that 61.8% retracement, and a lot of times when I use fibs, I like to think of that 61.8% level as an area where trend changes. So we'll see if we get a close above it and we get a confirmation candle tomorrow. But this is looking particularly strong on a daily chart. And look at the stochastics. Let me open this up for you. I mean, this just in a couple of days went from 20 to 80 just with a snap of the fingers. Let's go over to that intraday chart on gold as well. We have a pretty nice area of resistance, actually. At least, I don't know, an hour and a half's worth. It's approximately at 42.13 and a half to 14 area here. We had this little bit of a sell-off, actually, while we were talking with our live traders that are going to be up here in a second. And we just keep bouncing off of this 4,200 level. And you could see there's that big red line there, that call resistance line. This is kind of framing the last hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours of support. So we're kind of between these two levels right now in gold. I'm not sure if we're going to get a breakout up or down before the day is over, but we do have some targets. I added a fib line again, just a regular measurement from where the trend started right here at the beginning of the initial balance, and kind of said, where are we at here? We're way above all of our retracement levels. We're even above the 23.6. So looking pretty strong for gold going into the rest of the day. Let's go over to Treasury bonds again. We talked about this morning a couple of different times, and let me get my daily tab up here. And I had a feeling this morning this was going to happen. We finally broke out of this, and not by a lot, but we broke out of this area of resistance that started at 117.17. And we have the body of the candle is above that level right now at 117.23. A close here, I'd like to see a confirmation candle within the next day or two to see if we could drive up to some and make some highs here, as Pax was predicting earlier today. But right now, moving averages are starting to converge, particularly the 8 and the 21. And let me just open this up so you can see it a little better. I'd love to see a crossover there as well. There's the 8, there's the 21. And way down here is support at 116.15 handle. Now, this is particularly sensitive to a lot of the nonsense that's going on in Capitol Hill and the FOMC and other places, but something to think about. Intraday, it's been a nice intraday. No crazy trends up, but we're, R1 stopped the rally. We've been trading above that session VWAP really ever since the bell rang, the RTH bell, that is, not the bond bell. But we've been trading above it right now. So probably this point of control is going to be price happiness for the end of the day. Let's shoot over to crude oil because that's really another great story for today. Let's, where are my energies at? CL is the ticker symbol. December contract still. We got a few days before we have to roll. We have 270,000 contracts traded already. Let's get that daily up here right now. Again, we had a really nice tight hamburger bun here. The top of the hamburger bun, 61.90, give or take, that's resistance. The bottom was approximately 59.39, and we finally, boom, broke out below it at today, as a matter of fact, on that outside fib 23.6 retracement. We do have buyers that come in that tend to come in down once you get into that 56 handle range, but that's a couple of dollars away. We're not quite there yet, but this is a dominant benchmark candle. We're going to use that for measurements over the next couple of days. Intraday, well, I mean, it looks ugly intraday actually. There's been no buyers to be found. I mean, look at VWAP. VWAP is always above the price, always above the price. We got more and more and more and more separation. I apologize for all of these lines. I'll go ahead and clean it up for next time. But we really, even though we have a janky, I don't know if that's a word or not, volume profile, we do have a point of control here finally established at the bottom, like the last couple of hours at 58. We'll just round it up to 50. And that's where we're probably stuck there today. We're probably stuck at the bottom today. We probably won't get much more movement in the crude oil market. But that is this afternoon's Edge Report, and we are ready for our main event to trade the close with Nick for a tick, and Joey is back. Good to see you guys.
What up, Jim? How you doing, man?
We have Missouri and Texas represented today in the room, and we're excited about it. Any thoughts about this afternoon? Let's start with you, Nick.
Um, no, I just got stopped out at break even on a little trial long I was trying to get into on NQ. We've kind of just been chopping around, the lows. Basically, we built the value for the session down here between like 600s and 540s on NQ. So we've just kind of been ping-ponging back and forth, value area low to value area high. So not a whole lot to do just yet. I was kind of eyeballing maybe a dumb idea to try to short gold up there around the 210s and change, and we'll see if they can continue to hold this 4,200 spot. I have a weird feeling we may end up closing a little lower back towards like 180s, 170s, but that's just me, not financial advice.
So tempting, Nick. So tempting. I was thinking the same thing with gold as well, but I don't know. I'm keeping my hands in my pocket. Joey, what are you thinking about this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm watching the Nasdaq currently. Nasdaq's kind of been chopping around pretty much all midday afternoon. We're bouncing between IB low and VWAP currently. So I'm waiting to see if we can hold IB low, stay above, maybe get some strength above VWAP, or if we find more weakness, come down below. Nasdaq does have a strong level. Just kind of zooming out here for a minute. Nasdaq does have a strong level down here in the 490s to low 500s. So been watching that pretty closely, and we'll see what happens if we do get any selling that's initiated in price, if we do come down that low, or if we're going to stay in this range and maybe break back above VWAP. So something I'm watching pretty closely there.
Yeah, I got it. Well, it's exciting times are in front of us. It looks like the government might be open sooner than later, so we're gonna have fun with a whole bunch of data coming forward, which should help move this stuff up around even more. So we'll keep an eye on the VIX. Right now, it's at 17.45. Nothing too excitable right there in and among itself. So everybody, hit that thumbs up for these guys. They're going to be looking for trades on the close. We got Joey and Nick. Appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's really important to us, and we appreciate if you would do it. It's just, it's free. You just move your mouse on it. You just click the left part of the mouse, and you're good to go. But all in all, joking aside, thank you everybody for being here. You guys are a great community. The chat, folks listening to wherever we're at. Let's go ahead and support these guys. I will be dipping into the chat, Nick and Joey, and wish you guys the best of luck this afternoon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Nick, what's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? Good to have you back.
Yes, sir. Good to be here. Good to be here. How have you managed today?
I've taken a few paper cuts, small red, but the chat saw me during the kind of the mid morning trade after Leo and Kane. Nick got stopped out right here.
Oh,
tried to get long, came back, made a new low, and then decided to leave without me. And then we just kind of got stalled for a while. So it's not like I was holding this for 300 points or something. It went a little higher, but it was continuing the joke on this stream that you trade based on where my stop is. That's your entry, is my stop. So that was
Just
always fun.
be sure to let me know when you enter a trade and where the stop's going to be. That way I have an idea.
I got you, my friend. But continuing to kind of watch gold here to see if we're going to hold this 4,200 spot. I was very, very tempted up there. The 42.14s and change. We were just kind of stalled there. And I know no one wants to call top or bottom. That's a terrible idea, but something about that seemed like buyers just finally ran out of steam today. So was watching, and if we lose this 4,200s, I think it could be a nice little maybe 20-point sell.
Yeah, giving up 200 there. I mean, we could come down and see those 180s, 170s.
Yeah, definitely possible.
I think it'd be pretty likely.
I don't know. We'll see if they'll give me another chance to potentially enter if we get another defense of this 4,200 so far. I mean, that might have been the spot at like 206. That might have been my only other chance, but I'm seeing still a lot of positive delta on these candles down there. We'll keep watching it.
Yeah, they're gonna try to defend that 4,200 though. So that's what it looks like. We'll see.
How'd you do today?
Not bad. I traded some prop accounts today, green in those, and
Nice.
then personal account. I'm actually flat in the personal account. I haven't taken anything in the personal account yet. So seeing if we get anything this afternoon. I mean, Nasdaq's it's just been chopping around. I mean, we had the initial sell-off at the open, and it seems like ever since then we kind of been moving sideways.
But oddly enough, another sell-off off an open that doesn't get V-shaped post-Euro close today was a good sign for anybody that's ever tried to short this market. It was nice to not see it just get completely blown to the upside and us continue to balance in whatever we're going to call this 800s to 500s range on the NASDAQ for the foreseeable few days. Yeah, it seems like we're just bouncing in a wider range, unfortunately above a gap from Sunday.
I know. Yeah.
Which drives me nuts.
It's just been
an untouched week open on ES and NQ, which is also a statistical anomaly in some capacity.
Yep. Yeah, just complete sideways action. Getting a good move off the open, then just chopping around afterwards. So I mean, I don't know. See, maybe I'm just trying to see if we hold IB low. I think for me, to feel comfortable with having the idea of longs, I would want to see that happen. Find strength above IB low, potentially getting back above VWAP. I think that could initiate a little bit of buying pressure and maybe get back some of the red that we had today off the open there. But we'll see. We'll see. So far, it's just very, very choppy and not something I'm very excited to trade.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. Chat, it's been a couple hours. How are we all doing? Everybody have a safe lunch? Anyone eat anything good? I didn't leave my desk. And I wasn't trading. I just was doing random things.
Do we ever leave our desk?
I mean, I try to. I really need to get better. I used to be really good about it, and then lately it's just I've fallen into the trap of not leaving my office very much. I need to I need to get better about days I'm not on stream. Of if I find the setup off the open or like the first hour, initial balance, whatever, and I can take it, great. If that's green, that's fine. I don't need to sit here and continue to watch price action. And then I need to watch the boys trade the close in the afternoon, like from the couch on my phone, if I'm going to do it, or from the porch.
Yeah.
Because now the weather here is nice, and it's only going to be nice for a few more weeks before it just starts getting cold, which I'm sure you're already feeling.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. I think this weekend is supposed to be pretty nice, like in the 70s. And then I don't know about after that, but yeah, we've already kind of had an experience with a colder day. It was, I think one morning it was 28 degrees.
Oof.
And I'm not about that life. I was just saying earlier that my wife and I are going to potentially go down to Pompano in February.
Nice.
To stay a month down there to escape the winter, the last part of the winter, and come back in March and just stay down there a month. But we'll see.
It's not a terrible idea.
It's not, trust me, I'm not I'm not a winter person. Can't do it. I say I need to leave my desk more often as well, but when it's winter time, I really don't see that happening.
I feel you.
You heard touching grass was good, so you planted a flower, a pot, and have it on your desk. I like that. It's a good idea.
I'm gonna see what L period brings. It was debating on jumping in short there on NQ.
Yeah, looking like she wants to roll a little bit. Waiting to see how we do the IB. I like the coconut trees in Florida. I really do. They're a sight to see. It's better than the trees that I have in my backyard.
Fun fact, I have no trees in my backyard, just one in my front yard.
Nice. My backyard is loaded.
I learned, okay, well, I have a beautiful old like Japanese maple tree in my front, and I've been trying to find a pair or a second one that's similar maturity so that it somewhat matches the other side. And I've learned finding mature trees that will be well planted and taken care of initially so they can adapt is extremely expensive.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
or I can just
I
plant a juvenile one for like $30.
I mean, I need to get rid of some of mine so I can give you some.
Hey, why not repurpose them? Just ship them down here.
I mean, my backyard literally sees no sunlight because of how many trees. I mean, like the grass I have is like it's almost non-existent. See, Joey, can you please explain how you trade using the IB top and bottom to use other elements of confluence with them to decide to enter? Sure, if we want to go full screen, I can explain it. Go full
Go
screen
for
on
it.
my chart. I'll kind of walk through it. I'll walk through the strategy that I use with initial balance and if there are, I'll give you some confluence if there are any really. So basically I trade what's called failures of the initial balance. So you take the initial balance high, initial balance low, obviously first hour. And if I can get, like we've had multiple breaks below IB low here. If you look down here, we've had multiple breaks, right? But we've constantly been holding it. Generally, these are called IB failures when we break below those levels and come back within and close within. However, today's PA hasn't been, we haven't really had any strength coming out of it. So I've stayed flat. But ideally, if just take this move as an example here, right? If I'm going to trade long here as we broke below IB low, came back within and showed strength, I'm going to look to get long, anticipating this failed auction is going to happen. We're failing the IB low, meaning we're staying above, and I would look to capture the retracement of that 50% mark of the IB. Right. So if I can capture that, I would be pretty happy on that trade. Unfortunately, today, like these failures haven't really had much momentum behind them, and I've stayed flat. But vice versa on the IB high, right? Just say price, navigated above IB high here, and then we saw weakness and came back within. I would look to take that short there and ride it to at least that 50% mark of the IB. Do I always get 50%? No. There are times where I get into a trade and I'll like for that particular example, I would short and then trail my stop. And sometimes price will come back up, tap me out, and then maybe continue to move. But I try to aim for that 50%. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But that's generally the idea. Now, levels of confluence. So like this would be a great example, I believe, for if we were to find strength here, getting, holding IB low and finding strength above VWAP. I think that would be a good indication that buyers are going to try to see a little bit higher pricing on the day, whether it's, 50%, which would be here, or somewhere up in here. But that would be what I'm really looking for in this particular environment. Again, we have been just kind of chopping IB low, but if we do hold it and continue to hold it and get above VWAP there, I think that's a good indication that we're going to see buyers. So that would be some pretty strong confluence. Hopefully that answered your question there.
Nothing happening.
Where in Missouri do I live? Close to Springfield. Yeah, so far NASDAQ is really just saying in between IB low and VWAP, nothing really happening. How's gold looking? Is it holding 42 still? Yeah.
Yep. Currently trading at 42.06. It's been pretty choppy up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, that failure at 26 like 15s was giving me short this thing to 41 80s vibes, but I don't know if it's going to play out. It's been so bullish all day.
Yeah, that buy up we had on gold this morning was honestly insane. I mean, that was a big rip. Interesting to see it continue to hold that 4,200.
If I was a betting man, I'd bet on it breaking and we rotate lower, but I would have been wrong shorting this at any time today versus me just pressing the buy button would have worked out at any point.
Yeah, could close your eyes and market order in and make money on
Yep.
gold.
Apparently, we're back to that. I mean, there
Just
were
say-
signs. It just seemed like the Asia session just bit it again last night, like they always tend to.
Yeah. Gold acting like it wants to go back to all-time highs.
4 sets of singles on gold. Oof.
Table Rock Lake and Bull Shoals. Yeah, I go fishing on Table Rock all the time. In fact, I might be going this weekend since it's going to be so nice out. Bull Shoals I grew up on when I lived in Arkansas. We used to have a boat dock on Bull Shoals. We'd camp out there every weekend in the summer. NASDAQ is not very exciting, chat.
No, it's really not doing much.
It is not exciting, bro. Chat, how have you guys been doing today? Did y'all catch the sell-off this morning on NASDAQ? I actually missed it. It's been a tug of war here at 600 on the NAS. Never traded NQ. Yeah, it's probably that could be a smart thing. NASDAQ can get kind of wild. Start with the ES. There you go. Nick, do you ever find yourself struggling? Like you trade ES too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever find yourself struggling with ES after trading NASDAQ? Just like with the slower movement?
Uh, I would say I wasn't letting moves like play out. I was not as effective scalping it as I am NQ was kind of what I noticed. Now I've learned like I really just need to let ES play out like full rotations and like let it get to my take profit versus if I've ever tried to trail ES, usually I end up getting out as I scale up versus my original take profit idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have any issue with it. I just have certain days where I'm watching it and I see something set up before I see the other something set up in the other one, I guess. And also just some days you don't feel like being thrown in the back of a van blindfolded and driven around Manhattan or something.
Yeah. I've just for some reason I struggle with ES. I think I'm just so used to the Nasdaq 'cause that's really what I've traded pretty much my entire trading career.
Hmm.
And I've tried trading ES. I just lose. I guess I lose patience with it too fast.
I get it. Definitely can happen. It just, yeah, it doesn't move the same way if you need the velocity. If you're someone that like is like hyper scalpy and kind of in and out and, 10, 20, 30 point clips, then yeah, you should be absolutely just trading the NASDAQ. If you really let, I would say, moves and rotations play out, then you probably can. Also, I feel like I don't care as much to like stare at the DOM when I enter an ES trade with a reasonable stop. I'll just kind of let it play out because I'm not worried about my stop getting taken in 3 seconds and having to re-enter potentially.
Hmm.
So there's that. I don't know. I go back and forth on what I enjoy trading.
Yeah, I hear you. I've always, yeah, I killed my trades way too early on ES just from feeling like I sat in them too long.
Sure.
NQ needs a wider stop. Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. NQ is definitely one of those instruments where sizing down and wider stops is, a lot of the times needed.
Apparently nothing is doing anything because gold is still sitting there and ES and NQ are still not making decisions.
Yep. Just
What is
switched over
ES
to
doing?
gold. Gold still just hovering that 4,200. Moving sideways.
Ooh, I am seeing some sellers start to try to pick up the pace a little bit on gold. See if they have any success.
ES actually holding below IB low here. Hmm. Yeah, gold looking like it's trying to
It's gonna
potentially give
roll.
up that 4,200 level.
It's gonna roll, isn't it? Because I didn't take the trade. It's gonna drop all the way down to 4170s because I didn't take the trade.
Could always, cut your position in half
Just to feel something.
just to feel something.
No, I'm probably gonna.
I
Wait, I
sometimes do
don't.
that actually. In fact, I did that today on Nasdaq where I was anticipating a move and I saw it happening and it was starting to move without me and I cut my position size by like 70% and just got like a starter position in it and I took a little bit of heat, a little bit of drawdown because of the entry, but eventually played out, just added to it as it moved in my favor.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll get like a little starter position on if I see something that could happen pretty quick.
Here it comes. It's gonna do it.
You guys think ES will hold above 68, 62? Let's see. Let me go to ES. Um, Potentially. I mean, it is an area where we've constantly seen buyers. Right now, ES holding below IB low, which indicates a little bit of weakness here. So if sellers do keep us below IB low and we continue to see that weakness, I would imagine that we maybe even come down even lower. We'll have to see though. It's kind of tricky right now because everything's just moving sideways. There's not much action or not much movement in the market right now, and so it's kind of tricky to say either way. I could actually argue both sides of ES right now. I could argue that we've been below IB low before, and we've seen strength coming back above it, even above VWAP there, and we've kind of been consolidating it right now. So I could argue that maybe we still find strength back above IB low, but then I can also argue that we are actually below it and seeing weakness, and we could come down. So the fact that I can argue both sides, I really don't like being 50-50 like that. Meanwhile, NASDAQ is continuing to test IB low and still hold it, unable to push below. So the NASDAQ finds strength, does it bring the ES with it, right? So it's just, I don't know, it's all 50-50. Like I said, I could argue both sides.
Do I check Dixie when trading gold? No, I have not looked at a Dixie chart in a long time. If there's a correlation again for something, that's news to me because I haven't looked at it. Uh, YouTube time, Jim. Attention, Nick. What studies are you using on your chart? Is that a footprint and a volume profile? And are they free on NinjaTrader? So I am using a delta by price or a delta volume imprint, however you want to describe it, and the sessions volume profile. These two, so this delta by price next to this volume profile are actually based on the current NQ rotation that we are on. And I usually have my rotation set anywhere from like 50 to 70 on NQ. Just kind of depends. So you'll see these constantly reset kind of based on, what rotation we are in and if it gets reversed and things like that. So that's what those are. Are they free on NinjaTrader? I believe you need the order flow edition to build them out. So yeah. Oh, gold, are you going to do this to me now? I had a chance to enter there.
Gold did break below those 42s.
It gave me another chance to kind of get in at those 204s.
Anna, it's IB, not IV. It's initial balance. It's the first hour of the trading session, the high and the low.
If gold breaks, I'm gonna cry on the inside.
Yeah, breaking, it's hovering that 199, 200 level. If it breaks, we could see 94s pretty quickly, then back down to the 80s.
I really think it's gonna break.
Yeah.
I think buyers did every opportunity there to hold it, push it back up, and we're not rewarded.
Yeah, it's starting to look pretty weak.
The whole time it looked this trade I think did really set up. That's what I get. I mean, sometimes it's just like you see stuff like that, but it's like, do I really want to fade this
Yeah.
trend day move? You probably don't.
Right. I mean, that is a tough trade to take. I mean, if you think about it, like there's been a ton of buyers on the day for gold. We've sent it all the way above 4200s, and then seeing sellers come off that, 216 level back down to 200s, and we're just kind of consolidating it, having a little bit of a tug of war. They're at 200s. It's really a tough trade on, whether or not buyers are going to continue to have strength and hold that level, or if they just going to give it all up. You just never
Right.
really. It's hard. That's a really hard trade.
Yep. 100%. Here it goes. Everyone say bye to gold as it heads or tries to traverse down to 85s. Unless that is don't tell me that's going to be a generational low. Make a new little low, peak below 97, and then okay. Now I'm ready to buy. If you didn't love it at 200, you'll love it at 97s.
It's toying with your emotions.
Unbelievable, this product, which is just another reason not to take this trade.
Yeah, 100%. No.
Really wish something was. I mean, I guess ES and NQ still kind of like just stair stepping a little bit down.
Yeah.
But we're just ping ponging off the value area low and the value area high. 620s to 540s when we have been since Euro close. It is what it is.
NASDAQ's trying to decide whether or not it's going to give up IB low or not. I say I hate the fact that I can argue both sides. I never enjoy being in that scenario. Like these constant little peaks below IB low and holding it and trying to find a bid at that level, but then just going back to peak back below it. Not a huge fan of it. I think for me to even consider longing this, I would have to see us back above VWAP. I would want to see the strength off
Yeah.
IB low back to VWAP, getting above, and then maybe catching a retest off VWAP to take longs. Shorts, on the other hand, if we do find some strength to the sell side, getting below IB low, those 500s make me really nervous. We've held those up quite a few times.
Yep. You look at that on NQ, it's, one knock, two knocks, three knocks on that little 480s to 450s kind of area. It's like at some point that gives and we're gonna go take out that gap in the week
Oh
open,
yeah.
which is all I've been waiting for this week
Yeah.
to push us back down to 225. Of course, we like to be up and away before we actually fill in said structure, which just drives me insane.
Yeah, I just don't know on the short side. Like, yeah, if it ran the 480s, that all those lows that we've been constantly holding over and over, I mean, it'd be a great trade, to catch that momentum. But it's like with the amount of times that we've held it, is the risk to reward really there to take the trade for it to go down there and
I
bounce
would
right back off of it?
I mean, I'd lean no, just because ES has
Yeah.
been, this entire week has been structurally a little more bullish than NQ, surprisingly. Like the profile, the way we've kind of just continued to build value higher each session so far, it, does not quite look the same as NQ's, which is you see three pings on that like value area low. So we'll see.
Yep.
I don't know.
Agreed.
Gold looks like it's going to hold 4,200s. Of course it is.
Maybe the longs above 4,200 is the play.
Uh, I'm
Where do we get to? 190, yeah, 195. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick check, and apparently there are still buyers there. Because if they weren't interested at long and gold at 4,000 like 3 days ago, they're definitely interested now at 4,200. Yeah, NQ, like I said, it really does look like it's basically just been trading into like a 250 point balance for the last three sessions. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, much more constructive on the longer time frame. Nick, are you referring to previous day value area high NQ is touching? No, current session. So if you guys see my volume profile here, so you get the value area high for the session at 620, value area low at 540s. And basically, since I caught off air for like the midday, all we did was basically just ping pong around and chop inside of today's value. ES, very similar. Sure, developing value area, however you want to describe that.
NASDAQ still trying to hold below IB low here. I don't know if I get NASDAQ back to VWAP today or not. I don't know if we have enough juice to get up there.
Which VWAP?
619.
Is that RTH?
Yeah. ETH.
Oh, ETH. So you're
Yeah.
right. I have that on my chart. I'm
Yeah.
an idiot for looking at the wrong one.
Again, buyers trying to still just defend that IB low there. It's so choppy, chat. I mean, look at the candles. They're so tiny.
Just looking like another liquidation off the open into a balance day. But this
Gold
one
looking
did not
like
get V'd.
gold looking like it wants to catch a bid. Back above those 4200s. Sean looking like it's trying to get a little strong.
Did we see crude today? Yeah, crude was disgusting of a sell. Just violence. Basically inverse of what gold did today, but a little more violent.
Gold coming back up to test those 06s, pop above that.
Yep. Probably is going to. I was in at 60.50. Well, at least you caught some of the points.
Some is better than none.
I never seem to catch like a full day move on something like that. Like the full rotate, like the full up day in gold today. Like I'm never in that long at 4150s to 4200. It's just not a
Yeah.
trade I take. I'm more likely to be stopped out trying to play it as a range, trying to short around, let's say that 4150 spot, and then stop out above, previous day high or whatever it was. What time frames? You are looking at a 500 volume NQ chart for me.
I bounce around between the 1 and 5 minute. I mean, I have the higher time frames on like other monitors. Like I'm on the monitor I have above me, I have it on a 15. So I kind of just peek up there and take a look at higher time frames. But on the chart you see here, it's usually between a 1 and a 5.
Are they trying to open the government tonight? Yeah, there's a vote in the House, I believe, this evening, and I'd be shocked if it isn't voted. But also, who knows with this government anymore? Apparently, we don't have data releases for important labor statistics and inflation data from
Yeah, we're not
post
getting
shutdown.
CPI.
So I'm sure everything is fine. I'm sure inflation has been defeated just like it was defeated since November of 2023, according to Powell. So here we are. Don't worry about that. 3% is the new 2%, is the new 1.5%, according to what I think Trump was talking about. He sees it going down too soon. So, yeah. And I think they're changing the way these things are calculated too going forward. So it's like they're just clearly just buying time at this point.
All right, Nasdaq showing signs of some strength here, back above IB low, trying to catch a bid. Just whether or not we can sustain it or not. Gold has a campfire built around 200.
We're trading like we already got the move, like that the government's going to likely reopen. And I'm wondering what are we kind of waiting for? It's weird. Weird. It's been a weird week.
Yeah. Watching to see if, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, like having a starter position, I'm not opposed if we can come down a little bit on Nasdaq and hold, still hold below or above IB low. I'm not opposed to getting a starter position on just really small size and playing to the long side on this. Again, I like IB low holding. I like the strength that came there, came back above it. So if I can get a good entry, I could put on a starter position and see if we can get some strength to come back in.
Nothing moving. Although there is somebody absorbing here at 579s. See if they still want to party. And this lovely fella here.
Yeah, it seems like NASDAQ is trying to get some buyers going through. What's ES doing? ES, sort of the same thing, getting back above.
There's a 600 lot at 76. But so far, Mr. 770, 579, excuse me. Mr. 579 won that battle.
All right, I have a small position long on NASDAQ.
Nice. Nick, didn't you used to only trade ES? No, I have always historically, I mean, when I first started trading, I only traded ES. Historically, I bounce back and forth. I dabble in markets that are moving, and some days, NQ is illiquid and sloppy, and I hate it, and I'm mad at her. And others, and so I trade ES, and other days I'm just, I'm seeing structure, or I just like the way or ES is setting up coming into an area of support or resistance that I'm looking to potentially lean on, and it's going to respect that potentially more than NQ ever would. So some days I just like trading ES. Really depends on how I'm feeling. Like last week, I really traded both.
Ooh.
Friday, I traded NQ. The day before that, I traded gold, like only traded gold. So just depends.
All right, I did add into my position there.
See if we can push through that 580s guy and get you some points. Gold's still doing nothing. It's like gold got above 200 and then just died the rest of the session.
Like to see us get above, get into those 90s there. That would be ideal.
Oh, gold. It's making another attempt.
See, what's IB low again? 61. So back to IB low. I'm just gonna get out of this. Feel like that'd be a good stop for me there. I don't want to see it break back below IB low. Chair spaghetti. It's my stop is right at IB low. Am I like Joey from Friends? No. My wife watches that show all the time. Fun fact, I've not ever actually seen a full episode of Friends. And my wife watches it all the time. That's like her favorite show. I'm pretty sure I want to say in Branson, there's a Friends like attraction. you can go like you can go hang out in. They made like the scenes from the show to be like they basically replicated those scenes, and you can go in and like act in it and all that, and say the lines from the show. Granted, I know absolutely nothing from it, but seems like a lot of people like it. But I think it's in Branson somewhere. I don't know. My wife mentioned it. All right, see if this Nas can get into these 90s. Give me a push, Nas. There you go. Original entry was 72. Want to see these 90s hold, get up, maybe get a retest of 600. Probably, I think that'll be my where I'll get out of this trade is those 600s. If we can get a retest there. Unless sellers just decide to come through right now. I think we can get the 600s. Teetering around these 90s currently.
I mean, we're just chopping.
Yeah, this is getting a little brutal. A retest of the 600 would be a great spot for me to get out of this.
There's a 400 offer at 605s on NQ.
Trying to get a little push here, see if it can make a run up to 600.
Well, we got the M period turn here in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
There we go. Got it. We're out.
Nice. Nice trade.
Thank you. There we go. Go a little long.
Yeah, ES got that. It was kind of late following that little push with NQ.
Nice bounce. So that's what I like to see, chat. Like off those, when I was explaining IB levels earlier, that's what I like to see is that good strength come back above IB low, because that gives me a little bit more confidence and confluence behind trading a failed auction on the IB low there. Beautiful. Still seeing some buying come through. Might even go to VWAP up at 618. Seeing some good strength. Let's go. Gold is still roasting some marshmallows around the campfire at 200. ES also has a little bit of strength as well. Back above IB low, getting above VWAP as well there. Not a bad, not a bad retest on VWAP there. Could see some higher pricing on ES if it can hold above VWAP. Gold party is over for the day. Seems like it, huh?
Yeah, I don't think gold's going to do anything,
Yeah.
which naturally means when I'm not paying attention, it's going to liquidate.
Full liquidation.
Probably. Wouldn't shock me. This is the day I was staring at gold, trying to, for some reason, trying to find a pullback to get long, like anything instead of like trying to really trade indices. I don't know. It's a weird day.
Nasdaq still seeing some strength there. Coming back up in the 610s, about 8 points away from VWAP. See if we end up rejecting there, if we find strength above. If we find strength above VWAP and get back above, let's see, maybe even retest those 630s.
Probably heading back to 620s and change.
Yeah. We'll have to see. It's been really tricky in this range in general. I mean, we've been here before today where we've seen a lot of sellers. I mean, even if you look back around that 1230 time where we saw a lot of strength come back above IB low and we got to VWAP and then it was just a steep sell off from there. So we've seen a lot of sellers up here before. So I think if we can clear this area and get some strength, we'll probably see some. I mean, we could see a little bit of a grind higher towards the end of the day.
David, I've tried to lower down from 500 to like 300 volume. It just the candles just print too fast, and it's just not good for my brain. Because a lot of the time, like I'm still eyeballing based on like a 1 hour, um, and a 5 minute at times too, kind of adjusting with in addition to my volume candles. So, 100 volume would just print too much for me. At least that's my thought. But yeah, you could totally do it. I've tried. I've tried 300. I just didn't like it. Leo used to call that God mode for scalping, but it's too much for me.
Wow, Nasdaq is really catching a bid here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Getting a retesting 640, 638 rather.
Nothing like a M period candle unwinding all of the day's volume. Just pissing off anybody that was hoping for continuation out of today's value.
If we do continue to find strength on Nasdaq, the 650 to 670 level, just in that general range, is going to be really interesting if we continue to see bids here.
Do y'all have experience with Bookmap? My experience, if you want to learn about it, you can listen to episode 1 of season 2 of Painting the Tape. Joey, what about you?
Very very little. I mean, I've used it and I have it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a Bookmap pro. Um, really just use it for areas of liquidity, just for the visuals.
I've just never. It's the same thing. Like I look at a DOM in a way that it's like I don't need, I guess,
Yeah.
the extra layer of the order book. It's just it doesn't work for me. I understand people love it, use it, take advantage of it. There's good ways to use it. So yeah, yes, KDR. They were the. I'm not going to do this. I'm not. Never mind. Yes, sponsor on episode 1, of course. That was what they were. That's what you want to call it. I'm a good boy. I'm going to behave.
I'm the new guy, so there's definitely something I'm missing here about Bookmap.
It's nothing about Bookmap. It was an episode of our podcast that me, Leo, Stowe, and XY did, and
Okay.
Bookmap got brought up.
Uh, okay.
And I mean, like I said, I'm indifferent. I don't really care. People use what they use, but some people have strong opinions about Bookmap. But
That
yeah,
is true.
I get it because some people would look at my DOM, XY's definitely XY's DOM and be like, this is way too much. Like I have no idea what I'm looking at, which is probably fair. So maybe that'll simplify the game for you.
I will agree. It can be overwhelming with all the information. I mean, it's like I'm a big fan of simplicity. I like simplicity in trading, and if I just have all these tools and I'm just loaded up with tons of things, I get overwhelmed with information. I feel like one
Yeah,
thing tells me something and another is telling me a completely opposite. So it's like I just try to simplify everything down.
I'm in the same boat.
Even with like indicators or things like on the chart, like I try to stay pretty simple as possible. Really, the only two things I use on my chart is initial balance and VWAP, and that's it. Simpler the better for me.
Emmanuel, yeah, they did. Thinkorswim did have that, and that's how I started finding other people in this space to learn from. But yeah, I was when I first started trading futures and had no idea what I was doing. I was using the plugin for Bookmap with Thinkorswim because I was trying to trade futures on Thinkorswim, thinking that's a good place to trade futures.
Shap cap. Thank you.
And now we're just gonna rotate back into value, aren't we?
Yeah, right back into this chop zone
Because
potentially.
if you were hoping for continuation,
I was.
you're in for a disappointment,
It looks like it.
as was basically the entire session today. Best we can do is chop around. Gold making another run to break 4200s here because I wasn't watching it. Currently sitting at 198 evens. Perhaps it wants to finally roll over. Or not. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of watching it.
Nasdaq right back down to 600 where I got out of the trade. It's one thing I don't want to see is Nasdaq just continue chopping. I mean, how much time we got? So yeah, we're running out of time on the day, but I don't want to see Nasdaq just continue to chop this range. I would love to see continuation above 640 in the 50s. But we got our piece of the pie. That's what matters.
Nick, two top prop firms. If you don't like to tell, just say I understand. Oh no, there's plenty out there in the space. I mean, I think there's as far as like newer players too. I mean, Lucid, Tradeify are probably two of the ones that everyone's kind of very high on right now. And I mean, there's tons. I've used both of those and have been very happy. I think everyone knows where I spent majority of my time trading, which is also a good firm. We bounced right off that 600 spot again, Joey.
Yeah, looking like we might try to catch a little bit more of a bid. We'll see though. I mean, I don't like that selling back below VWAP there. But we could catch a bid. At this point, it can do whatever it wants now that I'm out of the trade.
Yeah, this is just a choppy mess. Reject off the overnight low to go down to the week VWAP to bounce off that. Gold still can't make a new low.
Man, gold still around the campfire at 200. Yeah,
Yeah, that is apparently the new happy place.
that is. Post it up at 200 and we're not leaving.
Yeah, all I was looking for was like, hey, you know what might make sense from a structural standpoint? Maybe a rotation down towards 85s, 70s, something like that. Retrace some of this structure. No, too much to ask for. We only go up here after being choppy to the downside, range bound for a couple weeks. Now it's back to you just press buy and close your eyes and come back tomorrow rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I was seeing as of like Globex Sunday night, and that has continued now apparently. Yeah, I was the two I was referring to would be Lucid and Tradeify.
Hey,
That
Bielka.
Delhi had AJ from Lucid on about a week or two ago. And I love what he's kind of building out. And I think everyone knows Tradeify at this point, and
Yeah.
they're a very reputable, good firm too.
Then I am taking more trades today after I saw my prop firm accounts. I ended up taking a couple more. And I ended green on those accounts that I was trading earlier this morning. Chopping VWAP, baby.
My God.
Chopping VWAP. Gold is doing gold things.
Yep.
I don't know if I ever asked you. Do you watch YM?
I really don't, but I saw the short setup today for the brief moment that it existed.
Man, the moves that YM get when it's ready to move, it's like a straight line.
Yep. I
It's
mean,
kind of
that was
it's
it
insane.
is just this. Yeah, that was just nuts. Just 500 points straight to the upside.
Yeah.
Well, you knew kind of watching in the pre-market. I'm like, the YM's going to make a new high. You could see what was a little weak in the pre-market, what was being bid, more defensive names. So it just made sense that we were probably going to do it. I would have never imagined just closing my eyes and pressing buy on the bell and hitting that trade in 30 seconds. But hey, apparently somebody did that.
Somebody made a lot of money on YM for sure. I mean, that was just a straight ripper to the upside. Looking at it here, it's from 48,140 to 530. It's an absolute monster rip. See, Joe, when the break happens, I mean, does not fail. Do you use IB high or low to join uptrends or downtrends? So yes, you can trade. You can trade continuations of those levels, and in fact, a lot of people do. Uh, I think that's another pretty strong strategy that a lot of people will use on the IB. Just like as an example, if there's a break, I'm going to use the IB high just because it's cleaner and I can draw it out better. If we want to go full screen, I can break it down a little bit.
Go for it.
Um,
We're not doing anything.
yeah, Mark's done. See if we can we go full screen on the chart real quick.
You're good.
But if we do break, there we go. If we do break IB high, I'm just gonna draw it up here because it's clean. There's no candles in the way. So if we do break IB high, for example, just say like this here, and then we come back down and retest IB high, a lot of people will use that as a retest to continue to get the continuation of the upside. It's a good strategy. I mean, if there's a lot of strength on the day, it very much does depend on the context of the day. Is there a news driven move? Are we just kind of chopping, moving sideways? Have we been rangy? Like there's a lot of context around it. But if we are getting a strong push and buyers are just taking over the market, then you could take a break and retest here and get the continuation to the upside. And then obviously like vice versa to the downside on IB low. If we do break IB low here, right, with some strength and then come back up and retest IB low, you could take the short and play the continuation of the downside. Again, it's just all context, right? It's just what's the market doing? How strong is it? How weak is it? Have we been rangy? Is there a news driven? Is the price news driven currently? Like it really does depend. But something that I have taken as well, I would say my bread and butter is usually the failed auctions, because we tend to get more rangy markets than anything from what I could tell. And with IB, a lot of times we'll see those IB levels come into play, we'll break them and come back within, right? And so generally what I look for, and also knowing the idea of like, are we going to get a double break, like especially on double breaks, right? If we get double breaks, those are pretty rare, right? Those are pretty rare to happen. And so what usually happens, we break and come right back up within the range. And so generally failures have always been my bread and butter and what I'm good at. But again, depending on context, if there is strength for me to play continuations above or below IB levels, I'll do it.
I'm so disgusted that NQ didn't take out its previous day low. We were so close. We were so close, chat. Yeah, you would need to be watching the order book in some capacity. So, for me, I'm looking at the depth of market, as it's called, on the DOM. So, I have a DOM with level 2 data that allows me to see the full order book. So I can see the bid, and I can see the ask, and then I have things set up to kind of look at the pulling and stacking on the bid and the ask as well. So that's where you get it. There's still time, guys. Don't get my bearish brain going that thinks we're going to potentially liquidate everybody and go take out the previous day low here. I've seen all the call buying today. I'm not a betting man, but I would bet that probably is not going to happen here in the next 12 minutes. But hey, I've been wrong before. There's still time. That made me laugh. Trust me, it doesn't take a lot of energy for me to want to sell this thing to zero.
It takes a lot of energy to watch it go sideways, though.
Yes, it does.
Golly. A lot of mental energy.
Yeah. Level 2 data is great. You can see the full order book. Highly recommend if you're doing this seriously. But you really only need it on in theory one platform. So your main trading platform, you could have it on, and then you could suddenly just use everything else, whether it's be for props or other stuff, like on a separate execution platform. Like that's what I historically had done too. Challenging day, yeah. This was not. I mean, this whole week, I feel like there's been moments, but there also has just been a lot of volatility. early in the session, and then it just turns into slow death grind to the
Attention
upside.
traders, it's algo time.
Thanks, Kane. Appreciate it.
Algo time.
Yeah, we got MOC here in 5 seconds. Let's see what happens. Maybe new low of the day. I doubt it.
Appreciate Kane for the reminder.
Just more chop. Okay, great. Awesome. Do you guys trade the Asia session on futures? No, I completely avoid Globex these days. I'm historically red between RTH close and RTH open. So with that comes maturity and not putting money at risk during your historically unprofitable times of the day.
Yacht, I will say for me, I do trade. There are times where I'll trade gold during like the 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time hour. Usually you can get some pretty good moves on gold then, and I'll take a little peek at it. And if there's anything that I like, I'll take it. But generally, I'm not spending a whole lot of time staring at it.
John, Nick, what platform do you use? The one you're seeing on screen. I'm trading on NinjaTrader. Still making. We're gonna just be unchanged today, aren't we? That's fun. Good job, guys. Everyone pat yourself on the back.
Nasdaq back into the 640s. Maybe we see 650s. I don't know. We only have what, nine or so minutes, 8 minutes.
I did make mention that there was once again for the third day in a row, just an absurd amount of call buying going on today. So, shocker. We're gonna close at the highs of the range. Maybe. I don't know, we'll see. 50, 68. We're seeing it like 68, 60s on the old SPX. We'll see. They might have just puked their orders there for all I know.
Nasdaq covering previous day close, just chopping around it.
Mm-hmm. Because an unchanged day would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it, folks? Can you tell I'm a cynical trader these days? I've seen too much. I've just
Thanks,
seen
Captain
too much,
Obvious.
guys.
Chad Gold has him on a roller coaster.
I mean, gold is still chopping around 200. Indecision. Yeah, a big green candle would be fine, but the whole day we did nothing, and then we're just going to close unchanged. And all it did was Asia bid us up, London helped, and then we sold off when the adults were in the room this morning, coming off a bank holiday. So they sold us, and then everybody decided to just keep us in balance since then.
Are they adults?
I don't know. I still think there's interns watching this stream that work at some of the larger desks who like to hold levels at like 420 every 1,000 points on NQ because it's funny. So probably not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nasdaq's gonna close at previous day close today, or somewhere around it. What's ES doing? Chop in the 80s. Got gold coming right back to 200. It's probably going nowhere, as we've noticed. Nick, have you been able to see the solar storm at night?
No. I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, there's like a big solar storm, like the Northern Lights.
Uh-huh.
You can see them at night at my house. Like the whole sky is like just pink.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I guess I haven't gone outside because it's been dark because I like do bath time and then I just am ready to shut my brain off and do nothing. So I haven't looked outside. I need to go outside more. Uh, what what's the algo time about? Okay, so market on close. There's a bunch of orders that are ready to hit the market, that are like kind of pre, what did you call it, Joey? I'm totally blanking on the word.
Talk about market on close orders.
Yeah, pre, my brain's turning off.
They're preset orders.
Preset. God,
Yeah.
why can't I speak? Preset orders that are planned and ready to be executed, at 3:50 Eastern time. And then that's the S&Ps. NQs is like 5 minutes later. Yeah, my brain literally turned off as I was trying to speak. 2 streams today. You guys can bear with me for that. A lot of
To be
talking.
fair, I feel like this whole week has been just with the market has been pretty mentally exhausting.
Oh, it has been, man. And I was so excited after like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week that a good two-way tape was going to be back for at least a couple weeks. No, at least through like OpEx pre-Thanksgiving week. No, why we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't make it fun.
Nasdaq coming back to the 600s.
I'm feeling they're going to pin it here on both.
Yeah.
Pin it at at 68, 74, 75s and pin it here at 600 on NQ. That sounds about right.
Right next to VWAP.
Gentlemen,
Jim.
good job today.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Nasdaq had, actually from regular trading hours forward, it had a really picture perfect almost session volume profile along with the session VWAP just defining the top. We kept tapping it and selling off it, tapping that VWAP, selling off it all day long. It was nice.
Yep. We did.
Yeah, it's been moving between VWAP and IB low, which has been a little frustrating for me. But to finally find a little bit of strength there at IB low was nice to see and to be able to capitalize off of it a little bit.
Yeah, the IB low is annoying for sure. But yesterday's IB low was just a little bit south of the bottom of the value area. So it was a good target there too. In any event,
Nas,
I'll laugh hysterically if we close at the point of control, which I have at 92.25.
yeah, Nas hanging out here at 600s. I mean, it's gonna probably close somewhere in this general range.
We're gonna find out in a minute and 3 seconds.
Which I don't love because I feel like we've been here for majority of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. We just popped. No, we're still. Oh, we might have just popped up. Point of control might have just moved up. 97.25. No, that's what it was. 97.25. I might have misspoke.
Might even go give VWAP a little tap before this close here.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh, look, 75s.
There we go. Look at
Nobody wins.
that. Oh,
They're
my
going to
God.
close right on the stupid round number option strike, aren't we? 68.50s.
Here we go.
There it is.
Oh
Classic.
man. All right, all right. Well, great session this afternoon. Fellas. Thanks for being on NinjaTrader Live. Let's give these guys a thumbs. If you haven't done the thumbs up, let's do it. If you have done it, thank you. Same with the subscriptions. Appreciate everybody participating with NinjaTrader Live. These fellas are fantastic. And thank you for that. Nice comment. You guys, who's back tomorrow? Let me just read that. We have Mark Chandler is going to be our special guest tomorrow for the morning gap, and then Farm's going to be on Tape Talk. Christian trading boxes and XYZ are going to be trading the open. We have Nick's coming back with Leo tomorrow for midday markets. Is that right, Nick?
That is correct.
All right. And then trading the close is Leo and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know Joey, you will be back. I just don't know when in the future.
Yep, that sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you much for being here. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Everybody listening, and remember, most important message. We're starting strong tomorrow at 8 o'clock, but most important message: please be safe out there. Be good to each other. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
See you
chat.
guys.